Good day to everyone and welcome to my talk on bullying. My name is Sandhir Sewmungal, a heritage and tourism graduate from Durban. I am a well-known anti-bullying activist and author of my book, which is the first South African true story on bullying, my book called The Unknown Jounrney. I am also a member of a registered NPO called Chauncey's Epic Anti-Bullying Campaign, who are based in Cape Town. Bullying is a global issue and is an ever so increasing issue in our South African schools. I am sure that at some stage of our lives we all have been a victim of bullying and we all have, experienced it. So we all have some sort of experience, whether it be throughout our childhood and throughout our school years, or even bullied as adults, experience it as adults in the working environment or just somewhere in public. And now another major issue is social media bullying, which is it's such a difficult type of bullying to resolve because people use social media today without thinking, and once it's up there it's viral and you can't stop it from happening. So like I said, today I'm going to talk to you about bullying. But most importantly, I'm going to be sharing my story with you. But let's remember that bullying is a sensitive issue, and I feel that not a lot of people are able to, talk about it or express themselves when it comes to this issue. So I hope that by the end of this video, I am the voice that speaks up for those that are suffering in silence. So it's time for my story. I attended an all-boys high school in Durban and I got bullied. I got bullied from grade 8 throughout my years at high school. I am not sure as to why I got bullied, but a lot of the times I was picked on because I had a weird voice or I couldn't speak properly, as people told me. I am a victim of verbal, physical and cyberbullying throughout my years at high school. The other reason why I most probably got bullied is because of me, because of my height. I am tall and I am thin. And I might have stood out from everyone else, but just because I am a thin person, it does not mean that I am a weak person. So I'd like to talk about something. So I've been told this and I hear about this a lot actually. I quote, "Victims of bullying get bullied because they do not stand up for themselves." This has to be one of the most ridiculous things that I have ever heard. So must us victims apologize for getting bullied? It's simple. If you leave the next person alone, everything will be fine. And if you don't like another person, just leave them alone. It's as simple as that. And guess what? Every single incident that I had been through throughout my school years, I always stood up for myself. There were times when students witnessed me get bullied and I still stood up for myself when nobody wanted to help me out or intervene. I'm not sure as to why there were too many bystanders at the time. Maybe they were scared to help me out because maybe they might be bullied next. Or maybe they just didn't want to be involved at all in case they get into some kind of trouble. So let me tell you, whenever I got bullied into a verbal fight, I always used to fight the bully, fire with fire. I always argued back with them. And I always won that argument. So the bully always felt overpowered by me. And eventually they had to turn into their physical ways to bully me. And that's how they always won. Whenever I did get bullied into a physical fight, I never ever did I lay a punch back at them bullies. I always pushed away in self-defense. But I come from a family with a very strong upbringing. We don't believe in violence, and I wasn't brought up in a way to fist fight people. The other type of bullying throughout the school years that I did experience was cyberbullying. But back then I couldn't do much about it because back then, once it's on social media, the school has nothing to do with it. So, when it came time for me to defend myself in a physical fight, it was just something that was very hard for me to do because it took a while for me to click face the reality and break out of my usual self just to defend myself. So the next thing I want to talk about is that how it destroyed me and how did it make me feel. Bullying was something I could not ignore. It was not easy to ignore all of those incidents. I felt that because I was being bullied so many times over the years, I became damaged and very unhappy. I was actually very unhappy at school, and I always followed all the rules of the school book. I always used to keep to myself and keep to my own business, follow all of the rules. But when it came time when the bully bullied me, I always used to still somehow get shouted at, or somehow the teachers would try to get me in trouble. So I felt that because I was being bullied over and over again, I became damaged. This might sound weird, but because I was being bullied over and over again, I was becoming stronger and stronger, but for the wrong reasons. I felt that all of this power had now taken over me and reached the stage of having full control over my mind and my emotions as well. The bullies could break all of the rules in the book, but still get away with it. Yes, there were times when I did report the incidents and nothing at all, or shall I say, something or little was done about it. Then there were times when the severe incidents occurred, and it was just lies and empty promises by the school, which really did make me frustrated. Because you can't get away with hitting someone, and the bully themselves gets away with it. And we have a school that protects the child. So I always stood up for myself, and never ever was I ever scared for those bullies. I guess not enough was done for me to help me out or to help out other victims of the school, because this was all boys high school. Be a man and take the pain. That's what was always preached. You step on the precious golden grass of the school, they punish you. If you don't attend the sports compulsory, they punish you. If you don't participate in sport, they will punish you and will want to suspend you. But when a bully bullies an innocent child, they won't even get suspended or even punished. And why is it that schools can punish pupils for everything, some of it being the most of ridiculous of things? One more thing, they will punish you if you don't greet a teacher or a prefect, and that same teacher or prefect will just ignore you. So if you don't greet them, they will punish you. So another incident that I want to talk about, I was verbally attacked and sworn at by the bullies. A prefect was there at the time, and he did nothing at all to help or protect me. This very same incident, which was reported to the school did nothing to resolve the issue. Another incident I want to talk about is that when I was physically bullied, and this was like one horrible nightmare. And so what happened there was I got into a physical fight, and it was quite bad. I was injured, and the saddest thing about here is that I was the one that was shouted at by a teacher like I did something wrong. They could see that I was injured and hurt, and they just wanted to sweep the incident under the carpet like nothing had happened. So after that fight, I switched on my cell phone to contact my parents because I was injured and I needed a doctor at the time. When the teachers got to hear that I switched on my phone after the fight, I was even questioned as to why I was on my cell phone, and they even stated I shouldn't be on my cell phone. That very same incident, when my parents got to the school, they were told that your child is perfectly fine and back into the classroom. So for my next part, I just want to show you as to how I turned this into my very own storybook. And this is something that I started from 17 years old. I look forward to sharing the rest of my story with you. moving on, I was 17 years old and in grade 11. I felt that my mind was now going out of control because of bullying. I still always stood up for myself, but it was just not enough. One day after an incident, I was always left, well, after many of the incidents, I was always left angry and frustrated. And how did it make me want to feel? It made me feel like I always wanted to get back at the bully and get my revenge myself. However, with the very strong upbringing of my family, they told me that I cannot and should not do anything, as it will land me in very big trouble. My family and my friends at the time played a very important role towards my life. They were my support structure. Yes, they couldn't understand the situations that I was going through, and yes, they couldn't feel the pain that I was going through, but they were the ones that always assured me, Sandhir, we are always here for you. If you need to talk about anything or need help with anything, feel welcome to always approach us. And that's what made such a big difference in my life. So after a very bad day at school, I went back home and I felt I was really damaged by what had happened at school that day. So my door was closed, my cell phone was off, and I needed some time to think and reflect about myself and reflect about everything that I had gone through within the school. So I said to myself, well, if I can't get my revenge as to how I want to, I am just going to have to write about it. I knew by writing about it was the only thing I could have done, because I knew I had the story to be told, because I'd been through so much of incidents throughout my school years, and I knew I could give it a try and turn it into my story. So I took out my exam pages and I started writing away. I wrote the first lot of pages and I gave up because I didn't believe in myself, and this was just something new that I said, hey, let's just give this a try. So the next day at school, I took those pages and gave it to my friend, and he told me, Sandhir, this is simply excellent. I want you to continue and carry on writing because this is a story to be told. And so I continued writing. Every lunch break at school, I would be in the library writing away and continuing with my story. And I think this was actually the very best option for me because it would avoid any incidents that might occur. My friends heard that I was writing a story about my school life and were very happy for me. Other students as well also heard that I was now writing a story about my story about the school. And I felt unsafe to keep writing at the school. So because I knew had the wrong students had heard about this, my work would have gotten stolen. And had the teachers or the wrong teachers heard about this, my work would have gotten taken away and this would have possibly been reported to the principal. I felt that by writing was the best thing I could have done for myself at the time because you know, like I said, I was always angry and frustrated. So just imagine a boy, angry, frustrated, and now by writing, I found myself peace and my happiness again. And it was really the best thing I could have done for myself at the time. And I had more control over my life and my emotions. So it took me 1 year and 6 months to complete my story. After matric, I was now on a search to find a publisher to publish my book. I had 214 pages ready to be published. So in 2014, I published my book, The Unknown Journey, becoming the first South African author to write a true story on bullying. The whole idea here was for me to share my story with my family and the friends that I was very close to, because I wanted them to understand as to why I was always unhappy and angry at the school. So after having such good feedback from them, I decided to, have my voice heard in public. So I decided to break my silence, and the same year I was awarded as the top 14 aspiring student by UKZN for publishing my book on bullying. No parents send their children to school expecting the children to be well and safe, but parents themselves cannot see what is happening behind closed doors, as only children are witness to this. I also wrote my book with the purpose of assuring victims that there is help out there, and I want them to know that they are not alone. When us victims report bullying, it should be dealt with professionally by the school and not swept under the carpet. I often feel that everyone wants to offer the help and the sympathies when it's too late, when the damage is already done, or sadly when a life is lost. And I think I can say this from experience as a victim of bullying and as an anti-bullying activist, because I'm sure we all witness it. When the victim is damaged, everyone wants to share the views and the opinion and offer their help when it's too late. But when a victim cries and when they shout out for help, nobody at all wants to help them. So my main point of this is that I just want victims to be helped, and because the moment we can help them out, there'll be less damage. And for the bullies themselves, it will save them actually in future, because they will have to deal with the punishment or even a criminal charge. So my book is an eye-opener to school bullying and exposes us to what is happening into many of our schools in our country. And I want to also encourage a culture of reading amongst our adults and our children on bullying, because my book is education after all. So moving on, in 2015, I was invited for the launch of Chauncey's epic anti-bullying campaign. And shout out to Llewellyn, Beverly, and Beyonce Davids, the family that are the founders of the campaign. Myself and together with the campaign, we've spoken about bullying throughout various schools and in communities across South Africa. The best part about speaking out about bullying and sharing our story is that we can look into the eyes of the children, and we are the ones that can tell whether they are the victim or if they are the bully themselves. After our talks, we often approached via our social media platforms for help and assistance by the children. Or even at the school, after our talks, many of the children approach us for help and assistance. I feel that children feel afraid to speak to the teacher because they feel that maybe they can get into further trouble, or even the bully that would bully them even more if they report the incidents. And as for the bullies themselves, we want to make them realize that what they're doing is wrong and out of hand. When we talk about how bullying can destroy another person and talking about the consequences it can have, the bully will also need to accept the criminal charge or the punishment, like I said. If there's still no change in the behavior of the bully, there's only so much more that we can do. There's only so much that we can do. We can influence people to change, but we can only wait for people to change themselves. One thing that I am forgetting to mention is that, parents play a very important role towards their children as well. It's not the duty and responsibility of a school to teach the next child respect and manners, to respect the next person. It's the responsibility of the parents to teach their children, just to respect the next person. Schools think that when a bullying incident occurs, and they think that when people outside the school hear about this, they think it causes a bad image for the school. Well, let me just tell you in the simplest form. If you fail to act and do something about those bullying incidents, that's what will cause a bad image for the school. So my best advice to all schools in our country is just to, as soon as a bullying incident occurs, simple things such as a name-calling incident, deal with the issue, because not only are you saving the victim, you're also going to save the bully from putting their own life in danger. So that's just about everything I would like to say about this part of my story and how I survived school bullying. And I really want to also assure victims again, speak to someone, because support structure, I was really lucky to have my support structure, because had they not been there for me, I don't know what my life would have been like. Thank you. I'll now be going over some questions that I am usually asked by children and by teachers. These questions should appear up on your screen right about now. Not at all. Bullying might have been destroying my life, but I always had my support structure. My family and my friends who were always there for me. If it was something that was going to kill my life, it would have been bullying itself and not me wanting to take my own life. I was always confused about moving schools because I had such good friends at my school. The other major issue was that the subjects that I had chose was not offered at other schools. Also, for how long must victims of bullying run away for? It's easy for a parent to remove the child from a school and put them into another school. But let us all remember that tomorrow another child will become a victim of bullying. So I decided to stay at the school, and I realized that had I left, the bullies would have won the victory and I would have lost the victory. And my book, The Unknown Journey, would possibly not be out today had I left the school. The original title of my book was called How the Unknown High School Bullies Nearly Destroyed My Life. So I decided The Unknown Journey was just perfect. So the other reason why I chose this type of title was because a lot of people knew me, but they didn't know the full story. They didn't know about everything I had been through in my school years. So the title, The Unknown Journey, is about my unknown journey. So I will now take a short break, and when I do return, I will talk to you a bit about adult bullying, But if you do have any questions for me, feel free to drop down a question on the comment and I will respond back to you. A lot of people ask me if school bullying still affects me up till this day. When I do take the time to think about it, I just felt as if though it was all just a bad dream. However, I don't let it worry me because I know that I have survived it and lived through it. Not many people can actually, survive through such a thing and hold their lives together. I have met people that are my age and much older than me that are still affected by bullying, but they don't talk about it because, many people today, they feel ashamed. They feel that if they talk about their experiences, it's something to be ashamed of. But I don't think that should be fair. What really does affect me today, though, is adult bullying. I haven't talked about this openly, but I think today is the day that I will. Because ever since I have published my book, I have also been a victim of adult bullying. So I'm going to talk to you about 2 or 3 examples as to what happened to me. So the first situation, I had a user a while back on social media that bullied me. I don't even know who she was. Her social media name was a fake name actually. And what she did was that she stole my photos off Facebook and she bad-mouthed myself. She named and she shamed me over her Facebook profile. And she was just picking on me and bullying me constantly for no reason. And the saddest thing about that was that her friends on her profile were supporting her. And I really felt upset and irritated because this was my hard work. It took me a long time for me to achieve this. And now I've got someone that's here ready to tarnish my name and my reputation. So I also knew that she was posting post after post to entertain the people on her profile. She wanted a reaction from me. She wanted me to react out of frustration or out of anger because she knew as well the moment I do that, she will label me as a bad person. And to everyone else, if I acted out of anger, I would have looked at as a bad person. So myself and my family, we decided to deal with the situation professionally, and ever since she disappeared after that. People can make such accusations or start, petty fights over social media towards another person, but they fail to realize about how much trouble that they can get into for defamation of character. The second issue that I would like to talk about is this issue, being thin. One day someone commented on my photo and I quote, "You need to hit the gym. You are too thin and that is why you got bullied." So now why must I become someone that I am not, just so that I shouldn't get bullied? It's not fair on me, and it's not fair on other people that are just like me. This is how we are. We should just, accept each other for how we are instead of, judging them and labeling them. If gymming worked out for you and you never ever got bullied again, I'm happy for you. But how I dealt with my situation, I wrote about it, and that's what made me happier. So, also on the same issue, I can speak up because I know people that are also thin, and I can speak up for them because we are the ones that get told, I quote, "You need to eat more, you are too thin." And may I remind you, I have also been told this by people that are related to me. And it just brings you down. You feel like you wish you could be like someone else. But my main point with this topic over here, we should all just accept each other for how we are, because you don't know what the other person is going through in their life or has to deal with in their life. Some of us, we wish if we could be another person, and many out there are battling with health issues in their life, which you may not know about. So in simple words, just be kind to the next person, because you don't know what they are going through. I really hate it when people body shame us, shall I say, or people for how they are, because it's really just unfair. This is how we are, and we should just be accepted like this. There's so much more that I can also talk about from experience. A lot of people will bully you, or they will say things to you, and you may not realize at the time, hey, you're being bullied. Only maybe a few days or weeks or even months you realize that you are being bullied into silence. Well, it's not going to happen anymore. Us adults, we need to be the ones that, kids look up to. Children look up to us for guidance. And we need to lead them in the right path and direct them in the right path. Today we have school bullying, which is such a major issue in South Africa. And if we can just educate children on how to use the cell phone, on how to use social media, that's our work done. But if us as adults are setting the bad example, we're just going to make society worse. Because, over on social media, I'm sure we all have witnessed to this. We all witness on how people and profiles and pages, they just want to share the bad to get followers and likes onto their profile. So I think I have said just about what I wanted to say on adult bullying. And I would like to end off by saying to all victims of bullying, don't be bullied into silence. Whether it be friendships, relationships, or people even related to you, don't be bullied into silence. Speak up against them. Use your voice. Don't feel afraid. There is the right way. It's not a crime to speak up against bullying. It's not a crime to have your voice heard. Just be brave, have the courage, and let them know how you feel. Today, a lot of people will also bully you to get that reaction from you, like I said, that anger reaction or the frustration out of you. At the moment you give in to them, they will label you as a very bad person. I would also like to end off with a very simple but an important message. You don't need to bring someone else down just to uplift yourself and your ego. Just be kind, because you don't know what the next person has to deal with in their life. The things that I have been through in my life, another person may not survive if they were in my situation. The things that another person has to go through in their life, I may not survive if I am in their situation. So just be kind to the next person. It's as simple as that. I would like to say thank you for staying with me till the end of the video and listening to my story of how I survived bullying. I would also like to thank the following people. I would like to thank all of the schools that have invited me to share my story. I hope that my story has made a positive impact on the children. Thank you to the teachers as well, the teachers and the principals, for your kind feedback about myself and my story. I would like to thank the people on my Facebook page and my Facebook profile. Some of you I have not even met or don't know so well, but always, your words are always uplifting towards me, and you always encourage me to do my best. And every time, your encouragement always uplifts me and makes me the better person. Thank you to the eThekwini Municipality Libraries for inviting me for many of the book launches and the events that were hosted. You allowed me to have my voice heard and share my story with everyone. To all the librarians that I have also met from the municipality, I would like to say thank you for accepting me and appreciating my work and showing your support against bullying. The Davids family of Chauncey's Epic Anti-Bullying Campaign. Whenever I am in Cape Town, this family are so amazing to me. They always make sure that I am well looked after and that I am doing okay. And I would like to really tell them thank you for everything that you've done for me. And to everyone else that I was introduced to from Cape Town on this journey, thank you for accepting me and appreciating me. We may be from different backgrounds, but you know, whenever I am with you, we are always one. And together we always speak up against bullying. To my friends, I don't have a lot of friends, but I know I have the right group of friends. Thank you for being part of my life. You know who you are. And to my family, thank you for being my support structure forever and always. This book would have not been complete without you. I would also like to thank everyone that has stayed with me till the end of this video. I hope that many can see this in future. I just want my voice to be heard against bullying. And once again, I hope that I have spoken up for those victims that suffer in silence. Thank you again. If you would like to get in contact with me, you may do so. My Facebook page is The Unknown Journey, and you may even add me as a friend on my profile as Sandhir King Kumar. And these details should show up on your screen as well. I've also got an Instagram profile, SK Sewmungal, or The Unknown Journey. And I would also like to let you know that my book is also available on all ebook platforms as of this year. My name is Sandhir Sewmungal, and I have taken a stand against bullying. Thank you.